Yo, what it is, what it do? Welcome back to another dope episode of the Homies Podcast, man. You already know who I am. I'm your host, Ellis. And if you haven't yet, go bang that subscribe button, man. It's gonna be showing up somewhere on your screen. If you're listening to it on Apple Podcasts, Podbean, Spotify, just hit that little subscribe button one time. It won't take you 2 seconds. Do that for your boy. Much appreciated. Today, I got one of my very, very special guests, man. My homie, soon to be y'all homie. I know y'all can't do the clapping, but from where y'all at, give it up right now for my homie, soon to be y'all homie, Lamar Griffin. What up with you, pimp?
Man, you know me, man. I'm just chilling, man. I'm excited to be on the pod, man. I've been watching and listening to you guys for a minute, so I appreciate you, man.
Hey, man, I appreciate you being on, bro. And to give everybody his background, he is one of the dopest videographers, photographers in the game, bro. Like, you ain't gonna find too much better than this dude, man. He does it all from the ground. If you need something shot from damn near space, this man can do it, man. So again, man, I appreciate
Black
you taking
pilots,
the time.
man. Listen, man, y'all ever see black pilots for people listening on this podcast? Like, think about the last time you saw like a black pilot. Now, granted, I don't fly planes, but I am a black pilot though, because I got, you know what I'm saying, I got my license.
Right? You be up in the air with it, bro. And those shots are ridiculous. And we gonna get into that soon, man. But I want to start this off, man, because we got a lot of stuff to cover, bro. And I know you real busy, so I ain't gonna try to take up too much of your time, man. But so the first thing we want to get into is where this journey kind of started with how me and you met, which is football, right? Like this whole thing is kind of centered all around football. Me and you, of course, we met at the college that we played at Arizona Western College in Yuma.
One
Shout
time
out
for
A-Dub.
One time for A-Dub. You already know what time it is.
Shout out to all the athletes there, some of the people that might be locked up or something, but that's another conversation for another time.
You, boy,
we still love y'all.
Man.
But we gonna start from where it even started before it did, bro. I want to start from like the origins, bro. Like, first of all, like, where did your love for like football even start? And how was like your high school experience? Because I'm correct, you from Lakeland, Florida, correct?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. One time for the city.
All right, everybody, if anybody knows anything about Florida and football, y'all know y'all are like synonymous with each other. So how was that growing up in that environment and being in Florida, bro, playing football?
Yeah, man. So I grew up in Lakeland, Florida. I went to George Jenkins High School. I could have went to Lakeland, Lake Gibson, Kathleen. Kathleen had Ray Lewis. Lake Gibson, my good friend Blah Powell. Lakeland High School, Marquise Pouncey, Mike Pouncey, future Hall of Famers. I played Little League with them boys too. Chris Rainey, Ahmad Black, Jamar Taylor, rest in peace to Jamar Taylor, my boy. It was just so much football, man. Like, since I was 9 years old, like, my goal was always to go to the NFL. And you know, when people say that, right? Like, it's like, you kind of like, you know, I'm a grown man now. It's like, man, that's a tough dream. But when you from Lakeland, Florida, like where I'm from, like, it was normal to, like, dudes really was going to the league all the time, bro. Mm-hmm. So like, even from my high school class, there was like, 6 or 7 dudes that went to the NFL. So it wasn't like a dream. People like chase your dreams. Like, going to the NFL was like a full on something reality that we could like. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Something that we could obtain. So that was my goal since I was 9, bro. So like, going to George Jenkins High School, it was like, we were just bad, bro. I mean, I think our best season when I was there was like 1-9. So we lost a lot of games, bro. Like, one time we got beat by Lakeland, bro, 78-0. People on the podcast like, damn, Lamar, and like, I'm the starting running back, so a lot of that go on my shoulders. But now that I think about that, bro, we got beat 78-0 by the #1 high school team in America. Like, I'm from Lakeland, so like, I know them boys, like, they right down the road. But when you put it in perspective, we got beat by pretty much an NFL team. Like, these boys was the #1 high school team in America, bro. Like, they won, they went undefeated that year. So just playing football, my love of football really just came from just, being around it. And I mean, even now, like, what's today? Today's Saturday. Tomorrow, I'm shooting an NFL game. I just left the NFL, like, I left my position with the NFL because I, travel, family. And now here I am again on the sideline tomorrow. Like, it's like football always find a way to just keep. It's like a girl, like, she always come back in my life.
Find a way to creep back in.
But yeah, man. But the love of football really just came from growing up in Lakeland. Just being around the game and just finding that passion for it.
And was there anybody like in your family, anybody real close to you that like pushed you towards that, or was it just something like you said, it's just the environment, just what I fell into?
It was more so just my I mean my whole family. So I didn't really have my father in my life. I was raised with my mom, my grandma, my aunt.
Mhm.
So like three strong black women. If you know, you know, like my aunt, my grandma, my mom, they always pushed me towards, like, my mom always said, you got to go to college, like, no matter if you play football or not. So
Mhm.
we both know. I was like, well, shit, I don't think we can pay for it. So my boy gonna have to score a couple touchdowns to get there.
Right? I gotta figure that. Even the pressures of that, right? Being most people 15, 16 years old, just like, yeah, I can't wait to go to college. Like, you really like, I gotta put in this work because I gotta figure out how to pay for this. I gotta, I feel like it makes you grow up a little bit faster, right?
Yeah, definitely, man. People even now, bro, like, people always ask me, like, because I did the photography thing, but we'll get into that. And it's like, how'd you get to the NFL? And it was just like, bro, that was always the plan for me. Like,
Mhm.
since I was 9, the plan was always to go to the NFL. Granted, I didn't think I was gonna be a photographer, a videographer, but the
Mhm.
plan was always the same: make it to the league. That was always the plan. So, it's always hard to tell people, like, what advice, like, like, how'd you make it? And it's like, bro, I was obsessed with that shit. Like, that was all I
Right,
thought about. Like,
right. Yo, that's dope, man. And like, and speaking of, like you said, going from high school, was AW one of, like, did you have like multiple offers? Was AW like, because with me, I was like, that was like one of the only few offers I had for football. I had most of my offers for like basketball and track. I just started playing my junior year, so I didn't have a whole lot of offers, and it was in the hometown of AW. So I was like, was that kind of the same thing for you, or you're like, nah, bro, I had I had hella
man,
offers.
yeah, bro. I had again, I say our team wasn't that good, but I ran a 4.3. I had some pretty good numbers in high school. Like, I had some, but my grades, man. So I remember one time, no joke, Boise State, Akron, UC, USF, like, all these D1 schools would come to see me, and they would be about to offer, and then they would go to see my the transcripts, and they'd be like, yeah, bro, like, you got to, you know what I'm saying? I had over 2.0, but my essay, like, my scores wasn't good. And
Hmm.
I just didn't take school serious. And, I always thought, like, all right, if I got over 1,500 yards all purpose, like, I'm going to go D1. And that just, I had to learn the hard way. So A-Dub was kind of like, it was just a way to go back to go D1. So, like, when A-Dub offered me, I was super excited because, as we know, that was one of the only schools that had a full ride for football, like
Yeah, like
dorms.
room and board.
Yeah,
Yeah,
like,
for
people
sure.
don't understand, man. That JUCO life is different. But when I got the scholarship to go to A-Dub, I was super grateful because it was just supposed to be a stop along the road to go D1. Like, I'm from Lakeland. Like, the expectation is, like, everybody going D1, which I should have too if I would have just paid attention in class. But that wasn't my path. So yeah, A-Dub wasn't the plan. But once I got there, man, I cannot lie, bro. Arizona Western was like the best thing that happened to me in my life, like, ever.
I say the same thing too, bro. The people I met there, the athletes I got to be around on a daily basis, I was like, oh, this shit is real. When you come, you probably don't understand that because you're like, I came from Florida, bro. Everybody, it's a lot of big fish in the pond out here. But where I was at, like, I was just like, yeah, I'm the big fish out here. Do you get to Western? And you're like, bro, these dudes. I ran the Junior Olympics, bro. Still, that was probably one of the best collective athletes of people like I've been around in my life,
Right.
bro. Just everybody was nice. We had all Americans on the team, just everybody. I'm just like, bro, you got dudes that are benching 225, 40 something times. I'm like, yo, these dudes is different
Bro,
out here, bro.
I think when I got there, the person that really made me realize how real shit was at Arizona Western was a cat named Jesse Williams. He would
Mhm.
end up going to
I remember
Alabama. They
Jesse.
won it. He ended up going to the
Hmm.
Seahawks. I got redshirted, which again was a blessing. Like, it was so
Hmm.
many dogs that, like, when I got redshirted, I was just like, I was like, bro, like,
Felt some
I'm
type of way a
super
little bit. I
fast.
know I
I'm
did.
super good. I'm like, a red shirt. But then, you know how God work. It's like, nigga, you could have been cut. They could have cut your ass. Like,
Sit your ass
I
down.
didn't,
For
yeah,
sure.
I didn't know how, like it was an opportunity to not, like dudes got cut. Like, when the coaches that came in with our class, like, they was cleaning house. So for me to even stay, it showed. But, like, I
Mhm.
remember being a red shirt, like, and going against, like, Jesse and some of those guys, Marcus. There was just Marcus Benjamin. There was so
Yeah.
many people that was like real dogs, and I was like, yo, I think Jesse hit me one time, and I was like, yeah, bro, if this is what it's like, You know, I've been hit before, but I was like, bro,
it's a different type of hit, bro.
I was like, yo, Jesse was a grown man, bro. And it was just the
Real
way
talk.
they approached the game. I think that was at Arizona Western. Like I had Coach Minnick. Coach Minnick, I think one of the best. I think Coach Minnick, one of the best coaches to ever coach football. If you don't know who Coach Tom Minnick is, he's one of the best. But like the way we ran the program, it was D1. Like for me, like when people ask me like, yo, what about your football career? I'm like, Arizona Western. We was like an NFL D1 program. Like everything was ran like we knew where everyone was going.
Yeah. And Minnick, he came from Juliet, correct?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, man. Shout out to him because at that time, you know, I was already gone, but me and you knew each other because there was still people on the team that we all still talked to. And I would come back during the off season and come, you know, work out with people, see people. So I knew like, and that's kind of how I knew about you. People talk about, hey man, with Lamar, he got burners, he nice. It's like Jesse, some of the people that were after, but I still knew who they were. Jeff, I remember people talking about him. RIP to him. So I heard that he passed.
Yeah, man. Jeff was I about to say definitely rest in peace. He was a freak, bro. I remember one time I had to line up. You know, I'm just like, man, this dude, he ain't really. And you know, he was size wise, speed wise. He could run with you too, man. Rest in peace to him, bro. He was a freak athlete, bro. Like,
yeah. And there's one person that I know. My homie Jerrell, you know Jerrell. And
hey,
Jerrell
was with it too.
Jerrell, like, I'll lock anybody up. I can run. Jerrell is a person, like, if you want to know the truth, he's going to let you know the truth about how somebody really is. Because he like, if you ain't nice, he ain't going to admit it. And Jerrell was like, bro, he's one of the best players I've seen in my life, bro. He's done crazy shit. So
it was so much collective talent, bro. It was just so. I mean, we could rattle off names of people there, and it's. I mean, it hurt me to my soul. It ain't no football there no more because of the things that happened. And it's just like
crazy.
Like we could have been like that East Mississippi. Like we played East, like my class, we played East Mississippi for the bowl game, and then them boys got a Netflix show. Shout out to some of my guys on that was on the show, but like. Arizona Western, we could have been on Netflix too. Like
for sure. And it had dogs on there, bro. Like, and so I'm about to say you kind of answered one of my questions that I wanted to ask. Is like, yeah, when you got to Western, so Jesse was your like, because I don't know if you remember a person named Miles Wade.
Yeah.
He was that person for me. When I remember getting to camp because you didn't have to report to camp earlier in the summer. I remember getting there and I'm signing in and I'm looking at him. I'm like, is this nigga a coach? It's like you're like a grown ass man. Yeah, braces. Dude was only 17 years old, 6'4", 325, can run like a 4'8", 4'9", 40.
Bruh.
I'm like, bro.
It was crazy, man. I was from Florida, so I prided myself on speed. Like, I mean, I did so many things. Like, if I could go back, I would just run track. I probably wouldn't even play football. But I mean, we know football was just so dope. Like, it's so cool. Yeah. But bro, everyone was so nice. Like, I mean, I remember my class. Everybody, like, you could have took our third string and put them on another team, and they would have be like, we'd have played our first string. Like, it was so many people in that collective group. And like you said, like when you're in high school, like I was the man in high school. Like not even like on no cocky shit. Just I was good. I was fast. Like I was a good team guy. But when I got to A-Dub, like everybody was the man. Like so it was like, but somebody got to be the alpha. Like it got to be someone at the top. We had a running back, Reggie. I swear to God, Reggie. Bro, I ain't never bro. Reggie was like the coldest running back. It's almost like this nigga had eyes everywhere, bro. He get that big be coming, stop playing. Whoop, whoop. And then we were bringing the dude named George. George wasn't the biggest dude, but George come in, same thing, shifty. Then you got DK. I mean, we just had so many people, like receiver wise, offensive line, like the coaches. It was just we was the Alabama of junior college, bro. Like, I mean, I don't really even know how to like our record, just everything, the way we was built, the coaches. It was just such a good culture, man. I was just glad to be a part of it. All I did was play special teams too, man. I never found my way onto like the offensive, like the offense, because just it was on me, like accountability. Like I didn't do what I was supposed to do with the plays. I hated lifting weights, bro. I did not like lifting weights, man. I was a speed guy. Like I would squat. I hop in that bitch and squat 500. But it was like, hey man, it's time to bench. I'm like, hey man, I see y'all boys later. They be like, well, Lamar, man, hey, squat time. You hit me throwing around some weight. It's time to bench. I'm like, oh man, listen.
Right. But yeah, man, like I said, that experience at AW, and even like you bringing up somebody like DK, you know what I mean? You know, internet sensation now, he out
Bro,
here
he
killing the
doing he
game.
doing so well now, bro. He doing so real. It's because he's so authentic, man. The dude's so
Yeah,
funny. He was just like that in college too, and now I mean, what does he have like
always
a
fun.
million followers or some shit? Something crazy.
Crazy. So, yeah, out here smoking with Snoop and everything. DK's do, which is crazy because I feel like people look at him and they're like, bro, he ain't. It was like, bro, he was a dog.
Bro,
He was a
he
dog.
he would run that thing. I used to remember him being so mad that he didn't get more touches, but it was like it was tough because it was so many people. The touches was limited, and when he did get that bitch, you can go see the tape. When he got that thing, bro, he wasn't going down because he was fast and big, and then he had like field awareness. So it was, I don't know, DK was a dog, bro.
Yeah, man. Yeah, man. AW was definitely a time. I definitely saw a lot of fights. Saw a lot of. I was around some of the most competitive people, but I loved it, bro. For the time I
I'm
was
telling you,
there,
man.
and again, like I said, in connections like this that it made, bro. I feel like that's probably the most important thing to me. Is it's like the game was fun, all of that, but it's like the connections and people I got to meet and got to be around. That's the shit that like will always for sure stay with me. You know what I mean?
Yes, sir.
And so I want to ask you that. So transitioning into that, bro. Like, so from AW, you know, you do that, and was it like I want to go D1 after this, or were you like, man, football? I really don't like. What was your like thought process like after AW or whatever?
So, bro, I became I had an advisor there. Her name was Shara. I ran for student government president. I mean, I think Obama had just became the president at my time at AW. So you know that kind of had that was huge for us. That was huge for me as a young man, young African American man. So I ran for student government president at AW and mess around and won the football team, everyone. So now I'm the
My
president. Like
president's black.
you know what I'm saying? Like so everybody walking around calling me president, but like with that title, I was having to do things, going to meetings and do things. So like remember I said in high school I wasn't a good student. At AW, man, I was in honors, I had a 4.0, and I was on the football team, student government president. And then I meet my now wife and the mother of my two children at AW. So like
So dope.
everything that I started to get more serious with school. I became the president. I started to realize like I know football is a path, but then I meet my wife and me and her end up going to the same school. She played basketball for Arizona Western. I played football. We both went to the same school. We transferred to a school named Willamette University, and I played football there. She played basketball there. So it was like the goal was always to go D1 after I left Arizona Western, but I got faced with a choice. I'm like, all right, I'm super serious with this girl, and I could marry her. Like I had already knew that. Or I could chase this D1 thing and try to keep going to the league. But again, accountability. Like I ain't know it then, but I was like, bro, you might not. You know what I'm saying? Like I believe in myself, but you might not be like. You might not be that. You know what I'm saying? The league might not be where it's at. But I ain't give up. But it was like marriage or chase this NFL dream. And I mean, I just knew I was gonna be with her, which we got 2 kids now, so I think
Shout
I
out
made
to
the right
wifey.
decision.
You did, man. Shout out to wifey. And I gotta ask, since she played basketball at Western, how's those one-on-one games, bro? I know y'all been playing.
Listen, she be getting me, bro. I ended up coaching basketball. Once I got done with football. I coached some of the coldest players. A couple of my players now are D1. One of my guys, he plays at University of Oregon. So I started coaching. So I started, working on my jumper. But I ain't gonna lie, my wifey still beat me, bro. She got a jumper, bro. Now, if I go to the rack, you already know, speed-wise,
You like,
yeah,
body.
she can't guard me. But it's like cheating, though. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
When people say no disrespect and they disrespect you, no disrespect to my wife, but she can't guard me because of the speed, bro. I'm telling you, man.
I'm about to say it's one of those things where it start off fun. You're like, go ahead, baby. Then after a couple buckets, you're like, all right, now hold on,
Bro,
hold on.
because if she get hot, no matter how fast I am, she can hit. And then if I get the ball first and I just keep scoring, so like we'll go back and forth. But I ain't gonna lie, she win more than she usually win more. She was cold, man. Bro. She was cold.
And so when you went to the other college, bro, like was it something that made you go like what was the thing that made you be like photography, VR, this is something? What was like even the thing that like made you kind of nudge even into that direction?
It was really after college, man. Like I said, I started coaching. Like one of my jobs was like I was a basketball skill trainer, which I know
Mm-hmm.
sounds weird because I played college football, but I always liked basketball, and of course I was athletic fast. So I started like training basketball players, learning about the game of basketball, and I
Mm-hmm.
wanted to make them like highlight films. That's what really got me into like, all right, let me like see what I can do with this camera because I wanted to make like little highlight videos and then this was like before like the viral shit and the Instagram and like posting everything all the time. It was
Yeah.
just more so like YouTube. So I wanted
Mm-hmm.
to learn how to make videos and that's what really sparked it off. I got a camera from a pawn shop first, and then I got a Sony 6300. And at the time, like no one was like really shooting at like the 6300, especially like once I got to the NFL. Like I was
Mm-hmm.
probably like one of the first people in the world to take like it was like a little ass camera on the NFL sideline, and they was looking at me like, "What the like? Why this dude here?"
Right. It's like I'm about to say it's so funny because shout out to Sony, and that's what I'm shooting with right now. The Sony 6300.
Same
Shout out
thing,
to
bro.
Sony and the
See, you got
6300.
what you shooting on the 6300, 64?
63. Yeah.
See,
The
that's
63.
that, bro. That was my first camera in the NFL game, and like real talk. I mean, we can go way back, like. That Sony, like people wasn't shooting Sony like that because Canon really had the game locked up when I came into the NFL, and Nikon was doing their thing. But I was just like, Sony is just it's small, it's compact. I mean, it wasn't as reliable as it is now, but like like when I go shoot the game tomorrow, I'm gonna use a Sony A1 and a 400 2.8. That's like a $20,000 setup, bro. But it's basically the same guts as a 6300. Well, I mean, the inside different, but the
Yeah, yeah.
body, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, yeah. So I ain't got up to that level yet. You feel me? So you up here with it. I'm still
Man,
trying to work my
listen.
way up. And so when you was it like so when you start because I remember that was like some of the first things I saw you actually record. I saw you like going to high school games and recording, like you said, making highlights for that. Was it how did that even get started? Did somebody be like, "Hey man, could you just pull up to my son's game," or did you just willingly just go yourself? Like, yo, I'm just gonna pull up, find these local kids that are nice, and how did that come about?
It really was that second one, but it wasn't more so like trying to find people and make stuff. It was about the reps and the
Mm-hmm.
process. Like I ain't even like you're all that motivational shit, but like I just needed to get better, right? Because it was
Mm-hmm.
like, all right. At some point, I remember it clicked for me. I'm like, well, of course, I'm not going to the NFL as a player. Maybe I can make it there with a camera. I had already, early on, I shot the WNBA. Again, being from Polk County, Lakeland, Florida, I knew Tiffany Hayes. She played for UConn. She's one of the most winningest winners I know in
She's
my life. Like
nice.
all she's done is win like her entire career. So I got to shoot the WNBA early. I shot Tiffany Hayes and Kayla McBride. Like I always credit a lot of my success to Tiffany Hayes, Atlanta Dream, and then Kayla McBride. Kayla's still playing right now. I got to shoot them, so I'm like, all right, I got a little pro experience under my belt. But to move into that NFL thing, I was like, all right, I need to get better at like taking pictures of football because playing football and taking pictures of football, that's a totally different thing, bro.
Totally different.
So
Yeah.
I would do anything to get the reps. Flag football, little league football, high school football. I didn't shoot many college games, but it's like anything I could go get better at, I would do it. And I wasn't getting paid like nothing. Like it was just show up, keep getting better. Show up, keep getting better.
Mm-hmm. I might say, and also shout out to the WNBA. Shout out to those girls, man. We definitely just want to shout y'all out because I feel
It's
like they
important, bro.
also
It's
don't get enough
important.
love and respect. You know what I mean? And it's like y'all dope as hell too. Yesterday, the day before, I was just watching the finals of the WNBA, man. Like, and that's something also I wanted to pride you on too, man. Like, how it's just not football with you. Like you said, I do high school, I do WNBA. It's like, yeah, man, those are important to shine lights on. Same thing that I feel like Kobe was doing before he passed. You
Yeah,
know what I mean?
man.
Making it a point and being that, and I also got to ask you, like, how important is that to you, being that you do have a daughter?
Bro, so my wife got a video of Kobe and Gigi, rest in peace, and me and my daughter. Me and Kobe and Gigi and my daughter, we were at the same WNBA All-Star game. So the last time I saw Kobe in person, I'm in the same building. I'm in the nosebleeds though. Kobe floor side. Kobe was sitting on the floor. I was
Yeah.
up in the stands. It was in Las Vegas, bro. It was at the WNBA All-Star game, and I had my oldest daughter Malia with me. So like, even just him giving me that memory, so that like when my daughter's old enough to tell her who Kobe and Gigi was, it'd be like I can show her a video like this is me and you. Like I'm holding my daughter. and then my wife points the camera and it's Kobe and Gigi and his daughter, and we in the building doing the same thing, like essentially trying to just, you know, watch the game and watch the best female athletes on the planet. People don't get this shit, bro. Like, the best female basketball players in the world have to play in like 2-3 different leagues to like make ends meet. We talking about the best. And then dudes always quick to like make fun of the WNBA. I know 10 WNBA players that will cook the fuck out of any dude that try to guard them. Like, I can rattle off 100. Like, all right, go play her one-on-one. Like, go try to guard Asia Wilson. Like, go try to guard Tiffany Hayes. Like, Courtney Williams. Like, you can't, like, most dudes can't even dudes that are athletic, they cannot play with these chicks. But like, when it come down to the money, it's not fair.
It's just the marketing, and that's kind of what I alluded to when we were talking about Brittany. You know, her situation, Brittany Griner. You know, shout out to her. I guess President Biden's supposed to be meeting with her family, and they supposed to be figuring out something. But I think about that situation. Like, man, it sucks that these women that are great athletes got to go all the way across country or go all the way across the world just to go get a check. And y'all are great, and we should figure out a way to be able to pay these women here. But again, I feel like the marketing of the WNBA isn't that great, and I feel like it kind of sucks because of the timing. Like right now,
like the WNBA games on Tuesday. Like, bro, they be like, again, I don't know who it is. Like, I'm a big fan, but like, you can't have a WNBA playoff game on a weekday during, like, when people at work or at school, like, no one can watch it. Or, I mean, I try to watch it, but it's like, that's tough on, like, people that want to be fans.
And then also, like, the timing that like right now, I was like, I'm watching the WNBA finals. How many people know that the WNBA finals is even going on right now? Because it gets overclipped by NFL. You know what I mean? NFL just started, you know, that's the biggest sport in America. You know, ain't nothing gonna overlap that. So it's like, I was just like, being that, I think they said they're trying to extend their season to like 40 games. It was like 36. They're trying to extend it. But I'm like, man, have it in the summer. Like, these seasons should start like end of like the finals. You know what I mean? It's like,
bro, we could do a whole podcast on WNBA stuff. Side note, I got to get you a WNBA player to come on your podcast. But yeah, I could talk 100%. About that for days. Especially, I mean, like, again, like you said, like what Kobe was doing before he passed. Like, I'm on that same mission now, not only for my daughter, because I was doing it before I had a daughter, because Tiffany Hayes, like for anybody listening to this podcast, Google Tiffany Hayes. Like, she was the coldest, bro. We went to middle school together, and she played on the boys team. Like we talking about Lakeland, Florida. Florida. It's 5 people that can start. Tiffany was one, and it was because she was just she was colder than everybody, bro. And it's been that way.
And that's the part about athletics that I love. That I don't care about the sexist part. And, oh, you a girl? Are you nice? I played against girls. Even I went to high school with Jackie Johnson.
Okay.
She's like some of the most decorated female athlete at ASU. They just like retired her. Like, they had a ceremony for her. I used to train with her, and it's just like, bro, being around girls that, again, I've never seen her train with girls. She always used to train with the dudes, and she was cold. So it gave me this respect. Like, yo, I don't care if you a girl or you better check her.
Bro.
you better check her like she a dude.
We already going down this path. Like, when I went to Jenkins High School, like we weren't that good in football. We were decent, like that, not that good in basketball. And track, we was really good. Like, our track team was really good, and our girls soccer team won the state championship. So like, I was just so used, like, Tiffany Hayes went to Winter Haven. Our girls soccer team like won the state championship. Kayla Baller, Kayla Grimsley, and then like our girls softball team. So like, I was just used to watching women that were like really good at their sports. Plus, I'm raised by my mom, my grandma, my women. So just my appreciation for women was just so different from a young age to like now. Like, I see, you know, you got Becky Hammond was coach for the Spurs. Now she with, like, it's like, that shit's normal. Like, I know the female coach from the Bucks. I follow Jennifer King from the Redskins. She follows me. Like, these are women that coach in the NFL. Like, this shit is doable. I mean, it's still hard to break in, but like, I know Coach Love, Coach King. Like, these are female coaches in the NFL that are providing something. Like, they provide value. They're not hiring these women to coach in the NFL just because, like, it ain't a fucking PR stunt. Like, they know what they're talking about. You think these dudes
Exactly.
gonna like go out there and listen to them if they don't know what they talking about? Like Coach Lowe, Coach King. There's other female coaches. There was one here in Denver. Coach Emily. Like, there's so many women that know they shit, and it's like all they need is opportunity.
Yeah, and we need to keep doing what me and you doing, shouting these women out and giving them their flowers because they doing some incredible work out here, bro. But we gonna get more into, because I got a grip of questions to ask you about this NFL stuff, bro. We gonna take a quick break real quick. Y'all don't go nowhere. Y'all go get your popcorn, Kool-Aid, and everything. We'll be right back with more with Lamar with the Homies Podcast. Y'all don't go nowhere, pimpins. Yo, what it is, what it do? We are back. Hope y'all didn't go nowhere, didn't run off too far. I'm back with my homie Lamar Griffin. He had to just get some coffee because we up early giving y'all this great content. And I appreciate you being up early and doing all that for your boy on a Saturday, because you're like, I'd probably rather have my ass sleeping in today. So
not at all, man. As soon as I get off this call with you, I'm getting ready for I got the Denver Broncos versus the Houston Texans. So like, the way I get ready for a game is just so different, bro. Everything. So, you know what I'm saying? I ain't like them other guys, man. I'm not competing with them. I'm not comparing myself, but my process is so different for a game.
Right. And I'm glad that you mentioned that, because that's the next thing I wanted to get into in this. So you do that, you start to shoot these games, and then you get what I would think, I don't know if you would consider, I consider it like a dream job, bro. Like, you get this opportunity to work in the NFL. How did that whole process come along, bro? Like, how did you get the offer from? I'm seeing you work with Tampa Bay and you work with Denver. So how did that work, bro? Like, how did that whole process work?
Man, there's always so many people ask me that, and it's like so hard to like even wrap my mind that like it happened. Mm-hmm. But essentially, the long story is Vaughn Miller put me on. I worked at a charity event for Vaughn Miller in Denver. Like, as soon as I moved to Denver, I got on this platform called Thumbtack, and there was a charity event, and I saw that it was for Vaughn Miller. Like, I'm from Florida, but like when I moved to Denver, like everybody knew who Vaughn Miller is.
Yeah.
So like I just did everything in my power to get to that charity event. I got to the charity event. I got to meet Vaughn. Got to meet some of his teammates. That led to me being able to get on the field, shoot for the Broncos. And granted, I don't work for the NFL. I'm on the field just, freelance for the player. So I'm working. And then after that, took off. So once I got on the field, I was like, all right, I came on my first game, Sony 6300 with a kit lens, bro. So if you do photography, you know what I'm talking about. When I'm talking about, I was out there with a kit lens, man. I ain't know nothing. I ain't know 7200. I ain't know aperture. I had that bitch in auto. Like I didn't know. So once I got out there, I started to get better. And then long story short, fast forward, COVID hits. And essentially I had done so much work like by myself with players, like kind of like I'd made like not a name for myself, but like people had seen my work. I've been on the field. I met someone at the Pro Bowl, I was with Shaq Barrett making a documentary. So I met someone from the NFL. I got his information. He got my information. When COVID hit, they didn't let anyone come on the field annever unless you work for the NFL. So, reached out. He was like, hey, I got an opportunity. And, me, I never even thought I'd like get a job at the NFL, but I got hired to work for the Broncos. And then at the same time, I'm from Florida. I'm making a documentary with Shaq Barrett. They just put me on the Bucks too. So I was essentially shooting the Tampa Bay Buccaneers and the Denver Broncos during the COVID season, during the Super Bowl run. I got to shoot every single game with the Bucks other than the I ain't even gonna talk about that. But I shot the whole Super Bowl run, bro, other than the Super Bowl. So essentially, if I would have worked for the Buccaneers instead of the NFL, I would have a Super Bowl ring right now. But I mean, it is what it is.
Oh, bro, I'll be tight.
It was such a great honor, bro. But I guess the way I got there was just consistency, man. And I just wouldn't stop. I just wouldn't stop showing up. Like once I got my foot in the door, it's like I just kept sliding my foot further and then got my body through that bit. And once I was in, I just stayed there. Like anything I could do to get better or shoot more games, and I would always do it. And money was like, I don't know what y'all think some people make when they do, like it was never like the cash was never it was always just I love the game. So I was always trying to be around the game. And then once I got into it, it was like, all right, well, how do I be better than last game? Like tomorrow, like today, I'm trying to figure out how do I go do something tomorrow that I haven't done before. Like,
yeah, trying to just constantly elevate your game. And so being around, bro, you got, like you said, man, you got to work with, like you shouted out first Von Miller, which I personally think is going to be a future Hall of Famer. I'm sure I think he's going to be a future Hall of Famer for sure.
We don't know many dudes to get that Super Bowl MVP on that defensive side of the ball, bro.
So I think that's going down. And of course, he had to do it to my squad because, as you see behind me, my Panthers.
Hey, listen, one time, hey, I rocked with Cam Newton, dog. Big shout out to the bro Cam, man.
But they didn't have no answer for that man Vaughn that day, bro.
It was like, too tough, man. Bro.
And it's like, so how was it every day, being around these dudes that not only, future Hall of Famers, champions, like, is there any game that you picked up that you were able to transition into, like, your photography and videography game? Like, was there anything that you picked up from the players?
Yeah, man, a lot. I mean, I think the biggest person, well, I mean, I don't want to say, because of course I got to shoot Brady, but I can't say, like, I think Emmanuel Sanders was like the most, because I got to work with Emmanuel Sanders Charity Foundation. So like with Vaughn, Emmanuel, Shane Ray, like a lot of the players, I got to work with a charity. So like that has nothing to do with football, bro. You know what I'm saying? That's giving back to kids, trying to help families. So I'm getting to watch how they interact with people, like how they move as people, like off the field. So with Emmanuel, bro, Emmanuel Sanders just retired. I think at the time of us making this podcast, Emmanuel Sanders just retired a Bronco. His mindset was so, I don't know. So like for me, Emmanuel Sanders is the closest thing to Michael Jordan, like that I've been around. Just like his mindset, the way he was thinking. And I got to see him. I'm holding a camera, and he's talking to a kid one-on-one. It's just me, Emmanuel, and the kid, and I'm getting to listen. And he's just like, bro, it ain't no secret. You just got to work. They keep asking me what's the secret. You just got to work. You got to work consistently. And I'm taking everything in. And then the same thing, like, I think when I got the job with the Bucks, I was there shooting, the NFL, but I was also shooting a documentary with Shaq. But once I realized that, like, I'm going to be like filming and doing pictures of Tom Brady, it kind of like, it made me uncomfortable because I'm like, all right, I gotta show up. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I can't drop the ball on this. And it wasn't more so that like I felt like I owed it to Brady, but I felt like I owed it to his level of play in the game. So like if I'm the dude that's taking pictures and videos of this dude, I need to rise to the level that he's playing at. And that was super hard for me, but every game I just kept getting better and better. So I became like obsessed with being on my game so that I could catch him being on his game. And I treated every player like that afterwards. I mean, Brady, like, I can credit Brady to like, he made me a better photographer because I like just my mindset shifted. I'm like, all right, bro, like, you know what I'm saying? Because I shot the Broncos before that, but they was always changing quarterbacks. I came in right after Peyton left, bro. So I never got to take no pictures of videos of Peyton Manning. I think I took pictures of him when he came back and like got his inducted into like the Ring of Fame. But I never got to shoot Peyton. So like once I knew I was gonna work with the Bucks, and then no one knew when Tom Brady got, like, I was working. I shot the Bucks when Jameis was there, and I saw Jameis, nothing but respect for Jameis. I saw Jameis one game throw 2 interceptions, and everyone was doubting him. And me, I'd stay locked in no matter what. He threw 4 touchdowns after that. This man threw 2 interceptions and 4 touchdowns. So it's like you never know how the game's gonna go. But when they said Tom was coming, I'm like, all right. That means when I go to shoot football next year, I'm taking pictures and videos of Tom Brady. So I had to change something. I had to get better than I was before.
And when you're doing that, like I said, was it anybody? I know, of course, you had Tom on the team, but was there anybody in particular that you like connected with that you like? I really like shooting this person just because maybe their personality, maybe they just. Bro, the action they give me on the field is just
Devin White.
Was this
Devin White. I mean, of course, I was shooting Shaq. So me and Shaq got a movie coming out. Hopefully one day y'all get to see it on a streaming service. Right now, we're in the distribution process for, like, we made a full-on documentary. I'm gonna send y'all the link if y'all want to go follow the page.
What's the name of it?
Man on a Mission. Shaq Barrett. So Man on a Mission. So that's gonna be my directorial debut. So of course, like as of right now, no one looks at me as a director because I haven't put out the movie. But essentially, you know, once I put that out, hopefully, you know, people start seeing me more as like a real documentary filmmaker that does photo, does video. But bro, Devin White is the most single funnest football player to watch because I don't know. For me, I guess I'm spoiled because I got to shoot Vaughn in Denver. So like, I always got to like I'm not like psychic or no shit, but like when Vaughn was lined up on a certain dude, I'm like barbecue chicken, what's that? Barbecue chicken. Like I just put the camera on Vaughn and quarterback going down. So like I started to kind of like know what was going to happen. Same thing when Shaq started going off. It's like, all right, they were sleeping on Shaq. He's coming off. You know, he led the league in sacks every single time. I think the New York game, he had 4 sacks. I had the camera on him like before he got the sack, just knowing he was going to win the matchup based off of how the offensive guard was like leaning. Again, I don't want to make it seem like I'm this technician, but like I started to watch football through my lens. Like I played football and I'm analyzing football. So I'm looking at things way different.
Do you think that helps you in the game, in your shooting? Do you think that kind of gives you a little step above people? Because you're like, I know what's about to happen. Everybody's lens is over here. My lens is over here because I know what's about to happen over here. Does that help you?
I kind of do, man. Yeah, I kind of do, especially with like AB. Antonio Brown is a classic example. Like every time, hey. Hey, one time for my dog AB, man. I got a picture of AB on the stage in the Super Bowl ring. But like Brady and AB had this way they used to look at each other, right? And this ain't like I'm not giving no secrets. If you watch film, if AB's lined up on like, you know, like a slot corner, I already know what's going down. Granted, like if you know football in general, it's like this ain't a good matchup. AB about to cook this dude. So if I know that, Brady knows that. So I'm going to the end zone, and it's like I'm not even making it up. It's like this shit gonna be a touchdown. So I just put the camera on AB. Like you talk to like film the whole field, but I'm like, that's one-on-one with Antonio Brown and like a dude that can't really guard him. Tom see that, I see that. It's, you know what I'm saying? So it start the game. I was trying to slow the game down. Same thing with Gronk, bro. Like it's 3rd and 2 on the 6 going into the touchdown. Where the ball going, bro? Going to Gronk, like you don't even got like.
Sometimes it's so easy. People make it hard, and it's like, no, bro, this is simple. We that's the mismatch. We're gonna try to exploit it.
Like the whole side of the left field is open. Gronk's at tight end right here. All time got to do is throw it that way. So instead of me going to that side, like if I'm on that side of the end zone, I'm running over here because I'm like the touchdown coming over here. Boom, Gronk scored a touchdown. I'm right there, and it's like, oh, bro, how you always in the right spot? It's like, I'm not guessing, bro. I'm trying to like, of course I get it wrong sometimes, but if you just look at the field and analyze the game, I mean, most of the times you'll be right, but that all comes from repetition and practice. So I really feel like just, knowing the game.
Like,
I do.
Kind of like football player to help you with that. Like
I do, man. Even right now, like, so tomorrow I'm shooting the Denver Broncos versus the Houston Texans. Houston Texans. I can't lie. Like, I don't know who's on the Texans right now. Like, even their quarterback situation, but like I was watching film before you called. Once I get off this podcast with you, I'm gonna watch film, figure out who their corners are, figure out what their offense looks like. I know Brandon Cooks is over there. I know Brandon Cooks at wide receiver, but other than that, like I don't know a lot of dudes on the team. So I got to do my research, and then tomorrow when I get to the game, I'm like, all right, this dude is guarding. I know Cortland Sutton. If this dude's guarding Cortland Sutton and he's a 5'11" corner that run a 4'8", it's gonna be a tough day for that boy. And again, I'm not, of course, I'm not Skip Bayless. You can't judge dudes off of like, stuff like that. But I mean, Cortland gonna cook somebody. So if I know that in my head going into the game, I'm not putting the camera anywhere else. I'm like, oh, it's coming here.
Yeah, man. And that was, I think you already answered. Again, another question. You jump in because I was gonna ask. I'm a defensive dude.
Yeah,
I love the defense. And who was it? Was it David White? Because I was gonna ask, like, who was that person on defense that was just a dog? And was it him or was it somebody else that I'm not thinking of right now? Who was the person that you just like, man, they are all over the field, they making plays, and kind of like if they didn't have this person, this defense
Vaughn,
probably would be this.
It was Vaughn. Like, I mean, me being in Denver, getting to like, being a fan of football, like, I was a Buccaneers. I'm from Florida, so Bucks, the Dolphins, like Jarvis Landry is probably one of my favorite players because Juice was in Miami when I was coming up. So like, And that, like, I know Jarvis Landry. I've got to talk to him. I've done work with him.
Mhm.
But like watching Vaughn play like through my camera, because when I'm shooting football, right, I'm not watching it. I'm like I'm working. So it's like I'm looking at it through a lens, and I don't care what else is going on. I'm looking through the camera trying to see what's going on. 9 times out of 10, bro, Vaughn was gonna win his matchup. And if he didn't, ball's going to the other side. So then I know where the camera should go.
Yeah.
So really getting to watch Vaughn and like his level of play. I mean, again, like you said, that's Hall of Fame level. So me getting to see that every time I went to shoot the Denver Broncos, it was kind of like it was like a gift, because I already knew what was going to happen when Vaughn went out to play. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm not worried about the offense. I mean, in cornerback wise, Chris Harris is here too. Chris Harris Jr. So like,
Dog.
you know what I'm saying? Like you got
Yeah,
Chris
dog.
Harris Jr., you got Von Miller. I mean, there was just so many people where you knew they level of play was so high. Like they ain't throwing the ball at Chris. Like that, like the ball ain't even going. Like that don't even make sense to throw it his way.
Right.
But yeah,
I'm like,
it had to be Vaughn for me.
And who was that? Was it a person like that on Tampa too? Was there a person?
So it'd be Devin White or Levante David too. So could people forget before the Bucks, like, you know, when James
Davis fast as hell,
Levante, bro, and he's such a good leader, bro. And I just look at him through the lens, and I got to watch him like put people in position, like, you know what I'm saying? He's leading, then going into the middle and playing linebacker. Like, I don't know. He just never, like, his motor is so crazy. Same with Devin White. So that Super Bowl run that Tampa had, like, it was so fun for me to be able to like do video and photos of that, because it was just so every single game they was going so hard, and like no one knew they was gonna go to the Super Bowl. Like Tom Brady had just came. Like there's so many different things, so many intangibles, but like the defense always went crazy. And then Shaq out here, he led the league in sacks, bro, like 19 and a half sacks. So it's like, yeah, man,
that defense was crazy, bro. And
I know
you got to shoot the celebration party, correct? Where on Tom was kind of walking out that thing
Super
leading.
Bowl, bro. The Super Bowl parade. I had a camera, bro. I felt like I won a Super Bowl, bro. So I didn't get to work the Super Bowl game because it was like my first year working in the NFL. They got like rules in place to like let people that been there longer, right? So they're like, it's your first year, but the Super Bowl was in Tampa Bay. Played, and I worked for Tampa Bay the whole season. So like, I kind of felt like not even disrespected. It was more so like just like, bro, I've been here every single game, and now the Super Bowl's here, and I'm not working. So that shit was kind of, you know, it is what it was. But the Super Bowl parade, I'm on the boat with a camera, and again, I'm filming for the documentary that me and Shaq are making. But I'm also on the boat, JPP, Vita. I mean, there's so many different guys on the boat with us, and I'm like, man, I feel like I won a Super Bowl. Like, bro, it's nothing but it was thousands of people. And we talking about COVID had like just kind of, I mean, you know, COVID was still like a thing, but like everybody was out. They brought the whole city out, bro. It was a cool. I don't think I could ever like experience anything else like that on the boat after they won the Super Bowl in Florida. Tom Brady's on the boat, you know, ahead of me. I didn't get to see the trophy thing, but I got to see Tom's boat, and it's just like, I don't know, like you can't make that type of shit up. Especially me, a dude that has no experience shooting cameras is somehow got a camera with the Super Bowl champions making a movie. Like I don't know, bro.
And you on your Spike Lee shit too. Like I said, doing your director debut. I cannot wait until that drops, bro. I'm definitely gonna be checking that out. And speaking of some of those players, I do see in your background, you do have some jerseys and stuff. Are these players that you just, you know, personally got to talk to, you got to work with? Like, is there any stories behind some of those jerseys?
I got a couple back there. So it's Asia Evans, Joe Jones, Cody Lattimore, Shelby Harris, my boy Ryan Bailey. So Asia, Team USA, bobsled. Ryan Bailey, one of the only dudes. I mean, if you seen the USA versus Team USA versus Jamaica, Ryan Bailey hit him with the, you know, that's my boy. He was in my wedding. So everyone back there, I work with. And again, it comes down to like my relationship with like athletes comes from a good place. Like it's never about the fucking money. Cause if it was like everyone wants to like get money from these people because they think like, you know what I'm saying? Like they see someone's contract and it's like, oh, I'm gonna charge this player X amount. And it's like, no, I just charge them what I charge. Like my rate's my rate. So like it was never about the money. It's more so about the work. So I always build a personal relationship with most of the people I work with. And like they hopefully can see I'm coming from a good place. And I just like shooting, bro. I shoot weddings, I shoot real estate, I shoot football, I make documentaries, like, and everyone's like, oh, bro, you do everything. Like, you should like focus on one thing. It's like, nah, I'm just gonna do what I do, man. Like, I don't know.
Yeah, bro, keep doing what you're doing because you're doing it great, bro. And speaking, like I said, so transitioning from the NFL, you went from a dream job to be like you get to an ultra dream job to with Timeless Visionaries. You and your wife get to work together, get to shoot these amazing moments in time with people. You get to probably basically get to shoot some of people's like some of the most special moments in their life.
Yeah,
How
we
is
just
that,
came back
bro?
from Mexico, man. We just came back. Me and my wife started a production company, Timeless Visionaries. We just came back from Mexico shooting a wedding. Before we left for Mexico, we shot an event at the Gaylord Hotel, which is the largest hotel in the entire state of Colorado. So we worked like an event there. Then we got on the plane and went to Mexico. It's just been dope, man. Being able to like work with my wife. Granted, like anything else, we have our ups and downs. Like we clash on creative stuff, but like we husband and wife, but then we're also business partners now. And it's like we just building it, man. We just started it. Our first event, again, it comes back to that charity stuff. The first event that me and my wife worked together was Justin Simmons. He's one of the best safeties in the league for the Denver Broncos. It was a charity event. So you can kind of see a theme with me, man. Like I'm always around charity type stuff, giving back type stuff, events where people are coming together. It's like it got to be more than football because there's just so much more shit. Like right now, we two black dudes doing a podcast. Like when I was in high school, I didn't even know what a fucking podcast was. Like now I run one, now you run one. I listen to your podcast. Like it's just so many different
definitely
things.
Listen to your podcast. Let's talk.
Let's talk more, dude. Hey, the book coming soon.
Right, and also y'all can go check that podcast out on Apple Podcasts as well. If you haven't already, please go subscribe to that because again, dropping gems in there, dope podcast. And I'm about to say, man, then that to me, not only are you doing like a dope job, it's like you're doing something to me that's also can help your family out, but also too, like, how does that feel from a creative standpoint? Being able to now, like, I can do whatever I want with this content that I'm creating. Was that kind of like, I wouldn't say a conflict or a problem in the NFL, but was that like a hurdle that you had to kind of like, man, I got this dope stuff, but I can't really put it out the way I want to because I kind of got to get permission.
Yeah,
was that kind of a hurdle?
For sure, man. I mean, you know, like I mean, the NFL is the NFL. Like, I'm not bigger than the NFL. No one is bigger than the National Football League. So, of course, with the footage that I get from the NFL, there was rules that came with that. So now that I'm not with the NFL, and like, you know, like this game, I'm taking pictures. There's still rules tied along with all that stuff when you NFL, NBA, WNBA, Major League Soccer, Team USA, like all the professional sports I shoot, there's rules that come along with being there and having a camera. But with Timeless Visionaries, with me and my wife, what we making, we own the content. We own the pictures. Like I mean, shout out to Nipsey. I got it tattooed on my leg. The marathon continues. Nipsey Hussle said it best. We own our master. So like when we doing certain things, having ownership of that footage, having some creative control with certain clients, I don't know, it's like freedom. It's like a gift and a curse. Cause like when you get that creative freedom, you gotta know what to do with it. But then also you still got to know how to be a team player too, because I can't just go to someone's wedding and be like, it's gonna be this, that's gonna happen. It's like they got ideas too, so it's really just listening and being patient. But the creative freedom that we got at Timeless Visionaries is a lot different than when I work for the NFL.
And do you prefer it on that side of the for the Timeless Visionaries? Do you prefer it kind of more on that end?
I do, man. I do. And the reason I love the NFL was, you know, it wasn't on the like the creative freedom. It was more so just that flight to Tampa, bro. I lived in Denver, and I don't think I've said this out loud before. I would take a red-eye midnight flight on Saturday night, fly to Florida. So I land in Florida at 4 or 5 a.m. in the morning, go from the airport to the stadium, essentially, start shooting at whatever time the game was, like 10, 12-hour day, then get back on the plane and fly home. That was like every Sunday that Tampa had a home game. And when Tampa didn't have a home game, I was doing the same thing in Denver. So 10, 12-hour day, but I just had to drive. So like I really worked for 2 NFL teams during one season. Like it was just a lot, you know what I'm saying?
You stay in the airport, bro. And shout out to Clear. Give this man check. Give him a check, bro. He be shouting Clear out Southwest.
Bro, I used to miss so many flights before Clear, dog. Clear has been, if y'all don't know about Clear, like TSA pre-check is whatever, but Clear, like, it's worth it. If y'all need Clear, hit me up. I got a promo code for y'all.
Oh, bro.
But yeah, bro, it was just so much travel, man. So it was just, it just became a lot. And I would have kept doing it until I became a father. Like, once my daughter was born, I always told myself, like, all right, if it ever gets to the point where when she know that I'm about to leave, it like she didn't like it, I would stop. Like nothing's more important than my kid. So my daughter's 3 right now, and still like sometimes I'll be about to leave and she'll be like, "Are you going to the airport?" I don't like that. Like it ain't a bad thing because I want her to see me chasing what I want to chase, but also don't want to miss most of those moments. And flying to Tampa is not. And bro, damn, I never said this out loud for sure. When I left the NFL, Brady had retired, so it made my choice to leave easier. And I don't know if I don't know if the Bucs was gonna have me back because the COVID thing kind of like it gave me like permission to shoot for the Bucs. But like if Brady wouldn't have retired, I don't know if I would have left. Like my daughter, my wife, like me and my wife might have had a talk. I might have stayed. But when Brady left, I was like, cool. I ain't even tripping about going back to Tampa because me and Shaq had already finished the movie. Then Brady unretires, and I'm like, I had already left, so like I had to make a decision. Like, am I gonna come back to like shoot Brady? But then I'm like, I don't want to fly to Tampa 13 times, and that's not me being lazy. That's just like that's
your life, man. You got another life.
13
you got
home games. That's 16. You know what I'm saying? That's 26 flights back and forth, bro.
Right? That's a lot, and that's more than most people fly in a lifetime, let alone just in a few months. So it's just like, and I ain't gonna lie to you, bro. I know you probably don't like it, but I was like kind of upset because you caught the perfect shot of Tom Brady chucking the deuce.
Oh yeah,
running off. I remember I reposted that, and I was just like, bro, this is like a perfect I'm out shot. And then when he came back, I was like, God damn it,
bro.
Tom.
I was just running right behind him with the camera, and that boy, he was just like peace. And I was like, dang, I might have got the last shot of Brady running off the field. I don't know if it was or not, but I was just locked in, and I'm like, if this is the last shot, that's super cool. Cause I mean, bro, Brady right here, I'm right here, so we just jogging at the same pace. I got the camera, but I mean, some of those moments, like I'll take those with me forever because at the end of the day, no matter how no one feel about Brady, like his level of play is something that can't be questioned. So being able to get to like be on the same field as him, like Tom Brady's like posted some of my videos. Like to say that out loud is crazy. Like it's not a flex. It's like I didn't know this was gonna happen. Like I didn't know I would end up shooting my home team, the Buccaneers. Like I didn't know my videos would be, like reposted by Brady or his team. I don't know who posted. Like it could be him, his team, but like. That just goes to show if you just keep working, you just don't know.
And who's on your radar? It's like Tom, one of the greatest quarterbacks of all time, is reposting your stuff, bro. That I know I would be hyped off that, bro. And I know I done had you here for over an hour, bro. But last thing I wanted to talk to you about, bro, is this book that you're dropping. I'm an avid reader. I love reading different books. You're dropping this book. You're one of I have another friend that's dropping the book too, but it's more for like children. So I don't have anybody really in this space. So I'm like, what made you want to even drop a book? And can you give me like the title of it and what is like a little rundown of what the book is about?
Yeah, so it's the book is called the same thing as the podcast. It's called Let's Talk More Do, but then like the subtitle is it's Let's Talk More Do. No one's coming to save you. And it's like, what I mean by that is like, if you want to do something in business, entrepreneur, like your podcast, you got to do it, right? Like no one's going to come hold your hand. No one's going to do it for you. You may have help, but like in battle, in war, like if a soldier's out there and it's him one-on-one with another dude, no one's going to come back and save you. They might come back later, but like you got to save yourself. You got to fight yourself. So, and the book is really just me giving people like simple lessons on like staying productive, like accountability, just so many like little things that I picked up along the way on my way to the NFL. And like now that I'm not in the NFL, just like a whole bunch of business advice, bro. And accountability is the main thing because at the end of the day, the reason I didn't make it to the NFL as a player is my fault. Like you can't blame people for things all the time. At some point you got to be like, I fucked up. And as especially as men, it's hard to do that because you don't want to like call yourself out. But once you start calling yourself out, it's you versus you. So like when I go on the field tomorrow, it's me versus me. I'm not competing with no other photographers. I'm not competing I'm not trying to get no Instagram likes. I'm trying to be better than the last time I did what I did that time. So
right. And that's one of the reasons why I want to buy and read the book for sure, bro, when it comes out, because I'm in that same position right now doing this podcast, man. Like something new that I really didn't know what I wanted to do, but I was like, man, I know I want to do something where I can show my creative side, and I want to do something kind of like how you were saying too with charity, like helping people, man. Like how I got a bunch of friends, bro, that are dope at what they do. These people ain't just normal everyday. They're dope. Yeah. And I'm like, I need to figure out a way to shine a light on these people because I don't want them to go unheard, even though I feel like whether I shine a light on them or not, they're still going to get heard. But it's like, I want to make it, I want to have something or a platform one day to where hopefully it's like, it's a look for everybody. And yeah, man, this could just help get your name out there, your book. Hopefully 5 books from now, I got a bigger podcast.
It's been a challenge,
you can
bro.
come on here and I can be like,
challenge,
promote your book. Yeah, but I can see that you've been tackling every goddamn challenge, man. And I just want to let you know, bro, just from being friends with you, knowing you, man, I'm super proud of you, bro. And please,
same your way, bro. I'm the same your way, bro. I know what it takes to run a podcast, man. Like people, I mean, for all the listeners, like it's a process, man. It's so many steps to get. Like what y'all are hearing right now, if you're watching this, what you're seeing, there's so many different steps that have to come to play. Like, shit, it's, you know what I'm saying? We started this like at 8 o'clock in the morning. So, I mean, even just like, there's so much commitment that you have to do something. So for you to be doing this podcast, bro, it's nothing but love. I wish you nothing but success. I'm glad we on here, man. We look the way we look, man. You know what I'm saying? We African-American dudes. So, you know, we just got to keep on pushing forward and we got to stick together, man.
We will, bro. And I'm definitely gonna have you back on again if you know. I know you're busy with all the editing,
but
please find time, bro, to come back on. Yeah, and I'm about to say, whenever you want me on, just let me know, bro, and we can link it up because I'm willing to talk whenever, bro. Like even right now, I'm like I was supposed to. My camera person's like, hey man, you gotta wrap it up. It's like we over an hour or something.
Hey man,
and I got like 20
appreciate
more
you.
questions for you, but next time, bro, we definitely gonna link up again, man. Then is there anything else you want to tell the people before you get out here? Anything else you want to plug before we get up out of here, bro?
Nah, man, just hit me up. I say if you guys want to find me, Lamar Griffin Films, Lamar the E. I really try to reply back to most people that I can, especially when they ask me anything about like how to get to the NFL. Like that just always seems to be the question. People like, how'd you get in the NFL photography? And I'll answer that question on your podcast or anyone that's looking to get into any type of professional photography. You just got to put the work in. There's not a secret to it. You got to be consistent for a long time and you got to be good and you got to keep showing up because like it's not going to happen overnight. So, I mean, with anything, but like the advice is just keep being consistent, keep showing up, keep putting in the work. And when you feel like giving up, push past that because that's usually where the good shit's at. Like for real, like as soon as you feel like, all right, I'm about to give up, push a little bit past that and then that's where it's at.
Real talk, bro.
Yes, sir. I appreciate you, my brother.
You already know, man. I'm gonna have all your tags and everything on the screen. And again, I love you, man. I appreciate you.
Yes,
and y'all,
sir.
Thank y'all for tuning into the Homies Podcast. Again, if you haven't, go bang that subscribe button one time for your boy. And I'll see y'all again next week, pimpins. Peace.
Peace.